Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Hey,
How
man,
you doing?
it's always great. We're in the 2016 SEC Media Days right here in Hoover, Alabama.
On the road with Sports Vision, sponsored by Headquarters Nissan, DJ. On the road, one more year.
Yep.
One down, SEC Media Day. Different feel, player.
It is a different feel, man. Of course, we say it's a different feel because last year not only launched the SEC Network, which brought a lot of flash and dash and brought a lot of spectators in from across the country, seemed to have settled down somewhat, and it's a different feel.
It's a different feel, DJ. You know, Greg coming in, Commissioner Sankey coming in, different flavor. You know, you can't follow a guy like Mike Slide, but really a different flavor, different storylines, and a lot of expectations.
All right, coming up in just a little bit, we're going to not only talk about the opening day of the SEC Media Days this week, we're going to talk a little bit about a guy that you don't know, but you're going to get to know him, and he is by way of University of Georgia through Casita. Ranger Burger. If you remember Ranger Burger, this will be a synonymous name and person for you to meet. And we also have opportunity to talk about one of the greatest big men of all time, retiring, Tim Duncan.
Big time Tim Duncan, you know, really one of the ambassadors of the NBA, never a bad word about this guy, no trouble for 19 years. 19 years is a long time, player.
Absolutely. And also Columbus is the site of the state 10 and 11-year-old all-star game, Little League Baseball. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more coming up next on Sports Vision.
Selection now, saving now, value now. Columbus is Nissan Town, and the Nissan Now sales event is on now. Now, save $5,000 on a new Altima. That's right. Now, drive a new Altima, an IIHS top safety pick with $5,000 in savings. The best time to buy is right now.
Nissan Now sales event. Don't miss it. We'll see you soon. Headquarters Nissan.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. We are in Hoover, the site of the 2016 SEC Media Days, and you know when the SEC calls and opens up the door for the SEC Media Day, officially the football media day, it's officially football season as far as we're concerned.
It's officially football season, DJ. You know, you don't have to wait till Labor Day weekend. It is official football season, 173 games, days until the college football playoffs, but it's football time in the South, player.
It is, and of course, all week, of course, all month long, we'll have an opportunity to bring you different viewpoints as we have it here. We've had a great week here at the SEC Media Days, and of course, you know, we talked about in the opening Commissioner Sankey and the transition, and it's a little different because you and I grew very fond of Mike Slide, but it's not fair, I guess, to think that he could handle the same expectation because the SEC was built on such a good foundation with Slide. So Sankey's pretty much, I guess, just got to steer the ship.
That's right. I just hold it in the road, man. You know, really, it is his. I guess his commission right now as a commissioner to mess things up, but really the Slide piece is big. Everything he said, all his vision is definitely in place. I think really one of the biggest things that, like we say all the time, basically all you got to do is hold it in the road.
Absolutely. And, of course, earlier in the week, you started out on Monday. We had an opportunity to hear from Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn is obviously in a pressure-packed situation with the schedule that they have. Whoa. But you know what? He's pulling the bull by the horns, and he says he's excited about his team, and he definitely wants to get more involved in the coaching aspect.
Well, you know, Gus never shies away from a challenge, and really he's been real successful ever since he's been at Auburn. You know, the expectations are still the same at Auburn. I think really starting off his schedule, those first 5 games going to be very pivotal for them. You know, when you open up with Clemson, then you got to play Texas A&M, then you got to play LSU, all in the month of September. I mean, that's big, DJ. The quarterback situation is really it's going to be a big issue, and they got to find a quarterback like right now. We got to find out who's going to be the quarterback quickly.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of teams in the SEC, including Georgia, who obviously came in on Tuesday. We had an opportunity to talk to Kirby Smart and hear him about his thoughts. And, of course, we've seen him in the spring. Of course, we were there in Athens, and he was in Columbus when he came down. But his attitude and his tone hasn't changed one bit. He's happy with his squad, and he is pleased with the production of his quarterbacks. However, he's got a situation to deal with those running backs. Of course, with Sony Michel having the recent accident, breaking his arm, and of course the whether Nick Chubb is going to be healthy or not.
Well, really, that's the question mark. Big question mark, along with the quarterback piece. Is it going to be Eason? Is it going to be Lambert? Who's going to be the quarterback? It's a lot of questions got to be answered on that side. And I think really Kirby basically quietly has been saying also, he's concerned with their depth. When you start getting in player depth, you got to have players to play, not just to substitute. You got to have some players that can play. I think the size, and we'll find out how the team improved over the summer. Did they get bigger? Did they get faster? Did they get stronger? But there are some question marks with Georgia, too, and really, we're going to find out real quick at the Kickoff Classic.
Absolutely. And the rock star, of course, of SEC Media Days, Nick Saban, came in on Wednesday, and, of course, with all the crowd and the entourage, and, again, we've seen this, as many years as we've been here, that Nick has been in Alabama. Again, this place lights up here. Of course, it's only a few miles down the road, but, guess Hoover lights up when Nick Saban comes to town.
That's right. When Nick comes to town, there's spotlights, there's skylights. Everything is going to be big time when he comes in here. People are really looking forward to him every time he comes. But really, Alabama, again, the storyline with these guys, are they going to reload? Can they repeat? On both of those lines, yes, they're going to reload and they can repeat. They still will play the toughest schedule in the country. Opening up against USC is no joke, but at the same time, they got a quarterback question too, like everybody else in the SEC. There's quarterback problems.
Absolutely. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to introduce you to Charles C.J. Jackson. Of course, he is the pride and joy of Buena Vista, Georgia, and he's the captain of the Ranger Burger.
Hi, I'm Philip Davitt with ENS Men's Clothing Warehouse. We'd like to say thank you, Columbus and the Bi-City area, for 20 great years on Macon Road in the heart of Columbus. We're inviting you out to our 20th anniversary sale with bigger savings and deals than ever before.
To help show our appreciation, ENS is offering complete suit and tux packages only $99. Jackets, pants, shirts, and ties, a $199 value for just $99. Find us on Facebook for details on how to win a suit or tux package. Come celebrate our 20th anniversary. ENS, where you get more for a whole lot less.
Truth be truth, the will to win will win. So intimidate your darkest fear. Revive every forgotten fantasy. Set goals you can never reach, then reach them. Count cards to fight fate stack deck. And if you want to win as much as you want to live, you're ready to reign on.
Why do we have Aflac?
Aflac?
And Major Medical?
Major Medical, boy, yeah! I help pay the doctor. Ain't that enough for you?
There are things Major Medical doesn't do. Aflac pays cash so we don't have to fret.
Something families should get.
Like a safety net.
Even helps pay deductibles to cover your back with.
Learn about one-day pay at aflac.com/wrap.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. And of course, we are proud of the Where Are They Now segment. And I'm pleased to have with us a young man who's done extremely well on and off the field, Mr. Charles C.J. Jackson III. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Good,
Thanks
good,
for having
good.
me today.
Hey, the pride and joy of the region, man.
Yes,
I mean, this is a
sir.
story. This is a success story. Okay. And more, in every sense of the word, more so than on the field. We're going to talk about your success on the field, but also what you've been able to do in transitioning into business. But first and foremost, let's go back in time. Let's remind these people that don't know you out there where you started and, of course, where you've been.
All right. Let's see. How far should I go back? To birth?
No. Just with the high school.
Okay, high school. Gotcha. All right. Well, I went to Tri-County High School in University of Georgia. Now you might know it as Marion County High. That's where I did my high school days at. Graduated in 2005. There I played, name of sport. I probably played it, basketball, football, track and field, a little bit of baseball, and that kind of stuff like that. Something to keep myself busy. From Tri-County High School, I went to the University of Illinois, by Chicago. I played 4 years there. I did 4 years of basketball, 1 year of football. In that football year, we went to the Rose Bowl, so it was a pretty good year for us. Every year I played basketball, we made it to the NCAAs, so that's always an accomplishment to make it to the big dance. After my 4 years at University of Illinois, I did a year in Hawaii Pacific University down in Hawaii, just for the sake of getting down there and getting some rays in and enjoying life with my then fiance, wife now. And from there, man, it's kind of been a journey. Went professional. Started out in Eastern Europe and Slovakia. Midway through the season, I did pretty well there. Got bought out to go to Holland. Played a year there, or half a season there. Finished up there. Went to Turkey. Was co-MVP in Turkey, and then from there I kind of made a home in France and been there ever since. So the last 4 seasons I've been playing professional ball in France.
The pride and joy of Buena Vista, Georgia, by way of Casita, of course. Now, I know that everybody's watching and looking and saying, man, he doesn't look that old. You're not. I'm not going to date you because it wasn't too long ago that I had an opportunity to speak at a Wendy's High School Heisman Award ceremony in Columbus at Green Island Hill, and you were one of the recipients or nominees.
Right. Sure was.
What year was that?
Man, that was in 2005.
So that's the year you graduated from high school.
The year I graduated, I was in the region for being a Wendy's Heisman. I did a lot of sports. I had a 4.0 GPA. I had a lot of scholarship offers at the time. So for the sake of what they look at for criteria, I kind of fit the bill.
Bottom line, multi-sport athlete, but football and basketball primarily is what
was the main two.
Yes, exactly.
For sure.
Now, the top honor coming out of high school.
Right.
I know you were Wendy's High School finalist.
Yep.
Were you all region in basketball?
Oh,
were you all state in football?
I was before I decided to commit to basketball because I was knocking on 5-star football as a tight end off of the line. Once I kind of made my commitment to basketball, they kind of went and started looking for people who were going to be actually going to college football. So I remained a 3-star football, but I was 4-star basketball. I was rated in the top 10 in Georgia, of course, and then I was top 10 in my position in the nation, which really helped me as far as recruitment goes. AAU circuit hit me pretty well, and I got a lot of people from a lot of countries, a lot of states, who saw me play, and that's what kind of led me up to Illinois.
That was going to be my next question again. I know Buena Vista, it's a small town, and you coming out of there and going to a D1 school, man. But AAU is
AAU is everything, man. I was very, very blessed to get picked up from a team here in Georgia, who we went everywhere, man. Actually my coach was a doctor at the time. And he did it as kind of part-time as a side job. And he loved giving kids the opportunity to go play. His name is Seth Burrow. He coached with the Georgia Hawks down in Moultrie, Georgia. And he gave me a chance to come play. And we went from Atlanta down to Orlando to Houston to the Showcase to the Bob Gibbons Tournament in Carolina up to the Kentucky Hoop Fest in Kentucky. He kind of didn't spare any details and made sure that the kids that was on our team had opportunity to be in front of the most coaches possible. So he took us all over the country for that reason.
Now, again, making the adjustment from Buena Vista to Chicago, obviously that AAU experience helped.
Yeah, it did, man. The one thing that, when you do travel a lot, you do see a lot, but you're still within the basketball world, right? But when I got to Illinois, man, it was a culture shock for me. First of all, the school holds 46,000 students. It's a lot of people, a lot of different genres of people, a lot of different cultures of people, races. It's a beautiful place to be, man. And just kind of understanding that little Buena Vista didn't exist to a lot of people. When I tell people where I'm from, they say, what, where? So I had to tell people, well, kind of by Atlanta. Oh, then it makes sense. But that was a growth period for me because you get to see people from all over, not just America, but the world. A lot of people from Australia, from China, from Japan, from Germany. You got a lot of people in Chicagoland area that were from all places of the world. And I was blessed to meet a lot of friends that I would consider family now because of that experience.
So you were a star in high school, you made the transition, you went to the D1 school, of course, and you had an opportunity to play some big-time basketball, had a shot to play some football.
Yes, sir.
Again, now, tell me, how did you get from college to European professional basketball?
Pretty much, man, if you do your due diligence and work hard enough and have opportunity to perform at the collegiate level, your film is everything. I mean, you can say what you want about a player, about how good they'll be, but when a team gets a chance to see you play, not just highlights because, of course, that's the best, but they can see a whole game, see how you did on the possession that you didn't do well. When you did miss a shot, how did you respond? Did you react to the ball? Did you get mad at your teammates? Did you respond weird to the refs? And I always kind of keep myself mellow in games, and the ultimate goal for me was winning. So whatever it took to win, I made that a priority. And numbers, of course, make a difference. You have good numbers, that's the first take, but they got to be able to see you in those moments when you're not getting big numbers, and that's what they care about the most. So my agent that I had at the time sent my tape out to a bunch of people, had a few offers, none that I really was blown away by, but enough to where I can get out and get a chance to show. And like I said, when I went to Slovakia my first year, I did so well there that a team bought me out mid-season, and I was able to grow from there. So.
And where is Slovakia?
Slovakia's in Eastern Europe, man. It's out there by Czech Republic, Hungary, in that area.
Wow.
But it's in the middle of nowhere, I tell you that. And when I went there, it was again, they were about 10 years back on the time, but I had to adjust, and whatever it took to get good in basketball and progress, and I had to do it.
Before we go to this first break, I want to let everybody know out there, because again, there's a lot of kids out there that think that the NBA is the only way for them to continue their professional career.
Absolutely.
Break down a little bit, not get into total details about European basketball, but the opportunity to play elsewhere.
Man, professional basketball is professional basketball. I mean, I know guys who make more money in Europe than they'll make playing the NBA. A few guys who had a chance to play in the NBA who decided to go to Europe because they treat you a little better as far as they take care of your housing, they take care of your car, they take care of your insurance. There's nothing you have to worry about except coming out there and playing basketball. So in most cases, man, if your dream is to be a professional athlete, don't limit yourself to the NBA, because with that limitation, you cut off a lot of opportunities. And I know a lot of guys who would do nothing better, you know, who experience Europe and seen places that they've never seen, me included, that the NBA may not have provided. But when you go in places like France, I got to see Barcelona. I've been to Dubai. I've been to many places in Germany. I've been a lot of places, man, that I wouldn't be able to do if I hadn't gone to European basketball. So it's definitely not a loss, man. It's definitely a gain. There's still people out there who are making a career of it, who play a lot longer than a lot of guys in the NBA. So don't sell yourself short, man. Work hard and you'll get paid off of your rewards for sure.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the next phase in his life. Yes. And it has something to do with the world famous Four Winds restaurant and a burger called the Ranger Burger.
That's it.
We'll be right back. If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, come see us at Express Motors, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama. Or give us a call, 334-384-9101. With hundreds of vehicles to choose from. In-house financing, the right vehicle at the right price for you. We don't want all your business, just yours. Come see us, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama, or go online, www.expressmotorspc.com.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 50-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
All right, welcome back to Sports Visions, and we're sitting here with Charles C.J. Jackson III, better known as, and affectionately known as C.J. And we're talking about your illustrious athletic career, but obviously you took your education serious, because you are the owner of the restaurant we're sitting in right now, the world famous Four Winds restaurant. And I'm talking to you out there, those folks out there who's eaten a Ranger burger or two over the years. And man, how did it all happen?
Oh, man. Well, once I was in France for a while, I kind of got myself established as far as making sure I was comfortable enough, putting enough money in different places for my kids, for my investment purposes. We was at a point where I wanted to look into something, because the one thing that I realized with sports is, it's great while it lasts, but it can end any day. I know people who played 3-4 years, had a great career ahead of them, blow out a knee, and now they're sitting at home. That happens, unfortunately, in this sport. So, me kind of having a good background as far as education goes, when I was in college, I got my degree in communication with a specialization in marketing and sales, minor in business. I realized that only thing that's long-term is what you make long-term, and that if you create a business for yourself, something that is good for the community that they'll continue to come back for, that's longevity. So I was looking at a lot of different avenues, from real estate to making applications to all kind of things, man, that could come into this society and last long-term. And while I was in France, I was in the process of actually having a restaurant started, an American restaurant, American themed restaurant, that it was my way of kind of giving back to France. The name of the restaurant would have been Fohty, Fohty.
Okay.
And that meant from our hearts to yours.
Okay.
Is the name of the restaurant, it's an acronym for that. And I was in the process of that, doing everything as far as getting the site set up, the construction, everything in line, the bank. I was working with banks as far as the financing, everything like that. And when I heard that this restaurant was closing down, my mom sent me a message and said, "Oh my God, the Four Winds are shut down." I said, "No way, there's no way." That's my favorite place to go to when I come home to eat. If somebody comes to visit me in this area, I make sure I bring them by the restaurant to have a Ranger burger. And my interest was primarily to just see, if there's anything I can do to stop it from closing down. Got in contact with the original owner, Ms. Susan Cox, and to spare you all the details, we ended up kind of building a good relationship with each other, to where it ended up getting to the point where I can take over. And that's kind of what put me here today. My goal for this restaurant, man, is number one, to keep up with all the tradition that is built over the last years. It's been open since 1979. There's a lot of loyal customers here who come long distance to have this food. And I'm one of them. Whenever I'm home in the area, I had one of my coaches, actually, quick side story. When I was getting recruited to Illinois, one of my coaches who came here, of course, I brought him here to eat. he had a connection flight, a completely separate time that in Atlanta. That man rented a car and sped down here, had a Ranger Burger, didn't call me until he was on his way out. He didn't know if he was making his flight. And as he's leaving the restaurant, hey, I don't have time. I grabbed the Ranger Burger. I'm headed back up to Atlanta. That just go to show you, man, this thing is a real deal. People everywhere realize that. But so yeah, I just want to obtain that, keep that going, and also give it a pretty good, not a modern twist, but just make it to where it can survive in today's world, today's economy. So that was the goal behind that. And again, this is something that can be a long-term thing for me and my family. I have my father working here; he's employed, and it gives opportunities now for people in the community to continue to maintain a job, but also provide a really good service to its customers.
Man, if you're not impressed already, I tell you what, you should be, because we're talking about a professional athlete who has enough business acumen to maintain and own his own restaurant, and you got to go back and play.
Yeah, man. I have a time frame on this, man. I'm here for the summer. I'm trying to make sure I implement enough policies and procedures and get the staff trained up enough to where when I leave, I can feel very confident in the work that's being done while I'm gone. But that's part of it, man. As a business owner, of course, you want to be there and be in the later groundwork, but your ultimate goal with the business is to be able to sit back and let it take care of itself. So that's just what I'm trying to do here, man. One step at a time, doing the dirty work now, so when I do decide to leave, I can feel confident in the way that it's run after that.
Well, I'll tell you what, CJ, we're so proud of you, man, and
Appreciate
you
that,
are
man.
definitely a role model to all the kids throughout this region and all over the world, since you do take your talents over to France to play.
Man. It happens,
But
yes, sir.
for the sake of the folks out there, tell them how they can find this place and how they can get in touch with you.
Well, we have a website. It is 4windsga.com. That's FOURWINDSGA.com. We have a Facebook page. We have all that fun stuff. You can order online. You'll find all the information for that on our website. It's down in Casita, Georgia. It's about, depending on where you're at in Columbus, about 20, 25, 30 minutes from wherever you're at. We definitely try to take care of you guys once you get out here. We have some pretty large size quantities for pretty good prices, man. We take care of our customers when they do come visit us. And, we're here, man. We have no intention on closing down anytime soon, so come see us and check us out. We'll take care of you.
Last but not least, tell those young folks out there, again, who might need a little motivation, might need a little spiritual
for sure. Absolutely,
drive.
man.
Tell them
Listen, man,
what drove you.
God is first, man. I don't hesitate to say that. Without His blessings, I've seen guys with a lot less talent who made it further than a lot more people out there because they have the right mental capacity to do so, and that's all given from the Lord Himself. You can only use what you're given, and it depends on what you do with that. I'm not the most athletic guy out there. I'm not the fastest. Don't jump the highest, but I had the mental capacity to keep persevering, and He allowed me to do so. My parents actually gave me a lot of good upbringing, man. Let me know that no matter what you're doing, it can always be worse. No matter what you're doing, it can always be better. Just find yourself a good place where you're happy, continue to strive for greatness, man, and you'll be all right.
Man, we certainly appreciate you.
Yes,
Ladies
sir.
and gentlemen, former All-City, All-State, All-Region, All-American athlete, now owner of Four Winds Restaurant, home of the Ranger Burger, Charles C.J. Jackson III. We'll be right back after this.
Smile is the most admirable thing you can wear. And for anyone age 1 to 101, Cook Dental Care has a smile for you. Dr. Kathy L. Cook offers a wide range of individualized, innovative services from basic preventative dentistry to specialized care. We provide comprehensive dental care for the entire family, including pediatric. Insurance, financing, walk-ins, and new patients are always welcome. So for your family's dental care, visit Cook Dental Care.
This is Susan Cooper of the Greater Columbus Urban League. Please join the Urban League movement by becoming a member. Membership is only $50. Our goal is 3,000 people to become members by August 1st and give back to the community through the Urban League. Invest in our youth and donate to help complete summer programming for summer jobs. The Urban League, equal access to equal opportunities, jobs, education, housing, and health, empowering communities and changing lives. To give now, stop by the Urban League, 802 1st Avenue, or call 706-322-6840, or go to our Facebook page, Urban League of Greater Columbus.
And welcome back to today's final segment of Sports Visions. And I tell you, Dale, CJ, it would seem like only yesterday we were out at Green Island Hill at the Wendy's High School Heisman award ceremony, and we had an opportunity to speak to the group of recipients, and CJ was one of those guys that just stood out.
It just stood out from jump. Right now he's doing great things, DJ, and really polished. When I hear about him and people talk about him, He's polished, doing very well overseas, and got a great future, man.
All righty. Now, as far as we talked about Georgia, Auburn, and Alabama, we covered and did our due diligence with our folks that are closest to us. But let's talk about some of the hot, some people on the hot seat, or some of the teams that there's a lot of expectations for in the SEC. And I know we mentioned the fact that Auburn is there, and we don't have to say that anymore. But Texas A&M is in a peculiar spot, and Mike Tomlin is Kevin Sumlin. I'm sorry, Kevin Sumlin. With Texas A&M and all that money and that they've invested into that program, he's got to make a move.
He's on the hot seat, DJ, and really he came in with all blazes, blasting, doing very well. Texas A&M have done well, but they have not had a defense to keep them in contention in the SEC West. I think really it's going to settle down. I think really he's got the players. He does a great job of recruiting that Houston area and that whole part of Texas. He's done good things. I think he's going to rebound. It's going to be interesting in the SEC West.
What's going on at Ole Miss? I know that there's some speculations in Tennessee, the same thing. I know Tennessee has picked to win the East, but again, these allegations hanging over their head. Will the NCAA come down? Ole Miss is another team. Hugh Freeze down there. They're sitting with with some pretty good teams. Chad Kelly, the quarterback. A lot of expectations. Those are two teams I won't say on the hot seat, but those are two teams that we got to keep our eye on.
We got to watch that. And again, that's going to be easy to watch, DJ, because again, the SEC West is going to be the most competitive division in college football. I think really for the Drew Brees, the Hugh Freeze pieces, the allegations, all the murmuring, all that stuff is going to come out. And then don't you think the other schools in the SEC are not going to try to use all those allegations and question marks against Hugh Freeze and the Rebels, because they're going to do that. That's just the nature of the beast. That's how things roll. I mean, really, I think the best thing that can happen for Ole Miss is find out what your allegations are, what your penalty is going to be, and then cut bait and work with what you got, because they've had some great recruiting years the past 3 years.
As we close out this show, basically, I guess it's it's inevitable for us to go ahead and make our picks, because everybody and talked about Tennessee coming out of the East,
right?
And again, you talk about LSU and Alabama in the West. Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is, DJ. I'm gonna go with Alabama, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't bet against Nick.
Oh, right. You're right.
I can't bet against them until somebody proves something differently. Yes, LSU got a lot of talent, but LSU has a way of shooting themselves in the foot, and they don't have that quarterback question mark. If they find a passing game and a quarterback, another playmaker other than Leonard Fournette on offense, then they might make a run. Tennessee has a way of shooting themselves in the foot. I think Florida's going to come out of that division again. Hopefully Georgia will be very competitive in that division, but I'm going to go again with a rematch of Florida and Alabama.
All right, before we get out of here, I'd be remiss if I didn't say big ups to Sally Little League out at Shirley Winston Park. They hosted the 10 and 11-year-old Little League All-Stars, and I tell you, man, they did a great job, and of course, we're just a gracious host.
Gracious host, Roderick Williams and Stick and all those guys out there, they do a good job every time they host that state tournament, and really, it's a great place to have a state tournament. Still got good little players in the Little League, and really, we have nothing but great things to come when it comes to Little League in Columbus, Georgia.
And congratulations to our very own Northern Little League, outstanding performance. Well, that's going to do it for all the time we have for today's show. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Have a great week.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.